Hey, it's Michael Cohen here again. All right, so the other day on Political Beatdown, I spoke with Ben Meiselas, and we're talking about the polls. And you know I don't have any faith in the polls. The polls are completely skewed. All right, one of the biggest problems when it comes to the polls is the fact that it's based on like 500 people, and these same people are the same people that they use. They know exactly what they're going to say. They know exactly how they're going to respond in advance. All right, let's take a listen to the clip from Political Beatdown. However, I want to talk to you about, for example, what you just said, these polls. And you know, and I've said this over and over and over again for many, many years, I don't believe in any of these polls. I really don't. Even the ones like this Fox poll that here seems to be showing, right? Since May, there was a 3-point change in the presidential race. Trump was ahead by 1 point last month. Wait, go back to that for 1 second. Trump was ahead by 1 point last month, while Biden is up by 2 points today, 50 to 48. That's well within the margin of error. Now, I like the fact, of course, that they remind you that it's within the margin of error. And I'm going to turn around, I'm going to make this prediction. All right. Says who? All right. You remember that when I was right the last time? Let me be very clear about something. All of this horse shit that you hear about how much closer the polls are. And so that's just to keep you engaged. It's to keep you locked into their station so they can keep selling their advertisement space and that they can keep the profits moving, for their company. Instead of telling you the truth. First of all of these polls, imagine that you are. So let's just take somebody's name is John or Jane. And all of a sudden, hello, John, Jane. Yeah, it's Michael Cohen here from the Midas Touch Network Political Beatdown Live Podcast. How are you today? Oh, great. Thank you very much. All right. Quick question for you. Do you mind if we ask you like 20 questions regarding a poll and so on? Ah, shit, you're kidding? Yeah, we really would appreciate it. All right, ask me. Are you a Republican or a Democrat? Now, they already know who you are because the only people that are picking up the phones are people that have picked up previously. So you already know what they're going to say well in advance. That was the point I was trying to make when I was speaking years ago to Breonna Keeler on CNN. The polls are bullshit. Oh my God, they have 500 people, which is an enormous poll if you're actually calling. The truth is, you already know in advance exactly what these people are going to say. This person has voted Republican year after year after year for the last 20 years. They have never voted for a Democrat in their life. Let's see. Well, I really can't vote for Trump, but I really have never voted for a Democrat. I can't vote for Joe Biden. So they already know where this case is going. They know what the outcome of the poll is going to be. That's why I have no faith in it. What you get from the Midas Touch Network, from all of the podcasts, whether it's My Mea Culpa podcast, Legal AF, Meiselas Brothers, Mistrial, whatever. What you get here from Political Beatdown, you get from us the raw, the unfiltered truth, and the reality of what's really going on. We're not going to turn around and create the Ben Meiselas, Michael Cohen, poll on who's winning what. You already know where that's going to end up going. Just imagine if we only polled people that are right now followers of Political Beatdown. Just imagine what that poll would show. You would have like a 90% Joe Biden victory over von Schitzenpants. It's clear, right? So what would be the point for us to have a Political Beatdown poll? That's not what we do. What we do is we go to the street, all right? And that's really what you want. We go to the street and we actually use our knowledge. We use our relationships. We use our intuition in terms of taking the research that we take from the street and we then apply it to what's going on right now in the political world. And that's where we come up with our, I don't want to call them opinion, but it's our understanding of what's going on right now. And here's the funny thing. Nobody out there, none of these fucking idiot political pundits like on the CNNs or the Foxes, not one of them hold a candle to either myself or Ben in terms of predicting what has happened. I mean, I've been almost 100% correct. Maybe I'm 95% correct on everything that I have said, going back to 2018, when I warned the country, I warned certainly the House Oversight Committee that if Trump loses in 2020, that there will never be a peaceful transfer of power again, right? And what ends up happening? The son of a bitch goes ahead and he ends up creating a January 6th insurrection. Meanwhile, now everybody uses my language. There'll never be a peaceful transfer of power. Hey, great, thanks. Why don't you attribute it? Why don't you attribute it to the guy who actually said it first? Yours truly. That's what you get here on Political Beatdown. And these sort of like little rants and so on, you're going to get that on my new YouTube channel, the Michael Cohen Show that I'm doing, thank God, to the help of Midas Touch Network. Fantastic, right? You're going to get these nice little snippets. So enjoy it here where you have us for the hour. Enjoy on the Patreon where you get to ask me your questions personally, individually, and enjoy me on the Michael Cohen Show on YouTube.
Look, one of the reasons that our predictions have been accurate is that the data's there. And what surprised me is how the media has ignored a lot of the data that's right in their face to push a narrative. So whereas they'll talk about this poll or that poll that samples, let's say 500 or 700 people, which may have some statistical significance, what I want to focus on is, has there been some scenarios where people have been voting in swing states already where we can extrapolate hundreds of thousands or millions? The same way in 2022, when everyone was saying the red wave, you could see, okay, who's voting early, who hasn't voted early. You can look at party affiliation and you can say, well, wait a minute, in the midterms, if there's going to be a red wave, then there's going to need to be some record Republican turnout because Democrats and independents are at a record level. So it's going to have to be balanced somewhere. No one was talking about like the 40 million votes that had already come in. Similarly, Michael Cohen, we could look right now at states like Michigan and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We could look at what's happened across the country in these various primaries where President Biden's getting 90 to 95% of the vote, and Donald Trump is losing about 20% of the vote to Nikki Haley. There's like a 20% protest vote to Donald Trump. And all the media was telling us is that there was going to be a 20, based on their polls, like already, right, Cohen? They were saying there would be about a 20 to 30% protest vote against President Biden. So I said, okay, let's take a look at, is that what's actually happening? And no, President Biden's doing better in primaries now than he did in 2020, than he did in 2020, like by far. And he's doing better than what Obama did in Obama's second term reelection campaign against Romney. So I'm looking at, wait a minute, Biden's fundraising more than Obama. Biden's numbers in the primaries are better. Trump's are lower. Trump's are following the trend that we're talking about, that people are leaving the Republican Party. So I have statistically significant data that just gets ignored by the media. And that's what you and I talk about all the time.
And the funniest part is, while Joe Biden and this administration are killing it, they are doing phenomenal work. Maybe one of the best in at least modern history. I mean, whether it's the CHIPS Act, whether it's the reducing of insulin and drug prices, whether it's the infrastructure bill, whether it's the assistance to Ukraine and what's going on in terms of trying to negotiate 2,500 year conflict in the Middle East, and just all the things that this administration getting rid of a whole bunch of the debt from the student debt. I mean, just everything that he's doing. That's not why Joe Biden, believe it or not, it's not why Joe Biden is actually up in the numbers. The reason, Ben, that Biden's numbers keep climbing and von Schitzenpants's numbers keep decreasing is because Von Schitzenpants doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. I mean, you do not, if you have half a brain, you do not pat yourself on the diaper, all right, especially when it's full, to congratulate yourself for being the guy who overturned Roe v. Wade, 50-year stare decisis, that now impedes upon a woman's right to choose her reproductive decisions. You just don't take it. I mean, the group that he's pandering to are small. They are minuscule compared to the number of women voters in the United States of America. In fact, there are more women voters than there are male voters. You are committing political suicide each and every time that you open your mouth and you say this stupid thing. And he does it all the time. Then you watch the unhinged Mandarin Mussolini go on a rant in front of a rally where people are picking themselves up and they're just walking out because it's so stupid, right? That he's sitting there talking about if he was on a sinking boat, and because the boat is powered now by battery, I don't even know what boat he's talking about. After I saw that, I was curious, what boat is he talking about? So I started to Google. What large boats are powered solely by battery. And there are none. I've seen some small ones that are powered by, that it's like a one-person or a two-person like scooter boat, almost like a like a wave runner, but electric. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. And the next thing you know, now there's sharks, right? And it's either you get eaten by a shark or you get electrocuted. I mean, is this really the kind of conversation that you think a potential president should be even thinking about? Hey everyone, first of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.